For 3 years, no one knew where he was. When he finally returned, he didn't say a word, just handed someone a notebook. What was inside changed everything. There was once a young man named Marcus. He had grown up in a quiet town where everyone knew everyone's business. In high school, he had been a rising star, captain of the soccer team, honor roll student, class president. He was the type of guy parents used as an example for their kids. After graduation, he got into a prestigious university on a full scholarship. Everyone expected big things: law school, maybe politics. But by the end of his second year, he vanished. He stopped responding to calls and texts. His social media accounts were deleted. He didn't show up at home during holidays. Even his best friends didn't know where he was. His family gave vague answers: he's taking time off, he's figuring things out. But no one believed that for long. Rumors started to spread. Some thought he had joined a cult. Others said he was in rehab. Some even believed he had died and his parents just couldn't accept it. But no one knew the truth. 3 years later, he reappeared. No warning, no announcement. Just quietly walked into his childhood home one evening. He looked different, thinner, with a small scar above his eyebrow. But the biggest change wasn't physical. It was the way he carried himself. Like someone who had seen too much. Someone who wasn't quite the same. He didn't explain much. Just handed his younger sister a worn-out notebook and asked her to read it aloud during a family gathering. The notebook held his story. It turned out, Marcus had suffered a mental breakdown during his second year at university. The pressure to succeed, the fear of disappointing everyone, and unresolved trauma from a childhood incident had built up silently. He didn't tell anyone. He just smiled through it until one day, he couldn't anymore. Instead of checking into a hospital or calling someone for help, he disappeared. He sold everything he owned and bought a one-way bus ticket to the opposite side of the country. For months, he lived in shelters, sometimes sleeping in parks or abandoned buildings. He survived by doing odd jobs: washing dishes, stocking warehouses, harvesting fruit during seasonal work. He stayed anonymous on purpose. He didn't want to be found. He thought disappearing would protect everyone from his failure. But something changed during his time away. In one small town, he met a retired social worker who volunteered at a food pantry. She noticed something in him, something still alive under all that weight. With her help, he started writing. Not just about his experiences, but about how people treated each other. About kindness from strangers. About shame. About how pretending to be fine almost killed him. He wrote every day for over a year. The notebook had pages filled with stories, his own and those of the people he met. He didn't think of it as anything special, but it became his way back. Now, standing in front of his family, he let them read the truth. There were tears and silence, but also relief, because he wasn't gone anymore. Later, parts of the notebook were posted online. It resonated with thousands. Comments flooded in from people who had felt the same way but were too afraid to say it out loud. His story gave them language, gave them courage. Eventually, Marcus returned to university, not in law or politics, but in social work. He didn't care about being impressive anymore. He just wanted to help people feel seen. The boy who had once carried everyone's expectations had learned to carry something far more powerful: his own truth.